Hello Year 8. One or two of you seem to be struggling a little bit on the MyMaths Q2 for area of a trapezium. There is an example of this question in the lesson, I believe it's slide 7 or 8, so you can have a look there, but I just thought I would go through a quick example of this with you. I've made this question up, I've altered some of the numbers, but you should still be able to use this idea when you try and answer this question. So if you haven't done very well on it, please have another go and see if this helps. One thing that I would really suggest is you do have some pen and paper when you're doing some of these slightly harder MyMaths questions. Don't assume you're going to be able to do everything in your head. Anyway, let's have a look at this question. It says the diagram shows the cross-section of a wall of a cinema. It is to be painted. And you can see it's made up of two trapeziums and a rectangle. And we need to work out the area that needs to be painted. So the best approach to do this is to look at each section separately. So I'm going to start with the easiest of the three shapes, which is the rectangle. And we know the formula for the area of a rectangle is length times width. So for this shape, and I'll write it in the middle, the area is just 10 times 12, and 10 times 12 is 120. Okay. So the two other shapes are trapeziums, and this is a much more complicated formula. The other issue that you've got with this trapezium is it is on its side. When you are using the formula for the area of a trapezium, you need to identify the two parallel sides. And the two parallel sides in this question are the 8 and the 10. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn this diagram round. Just helps my brain think a little bit better. Okay, now the formula for the area of a trapezium is a half of a plus b times h. So if I do that in here, I need to do a half of what 8 plus 10 is, and then multiply it by the vertical height, which is this 4. Now, I know that 8 plus 10 is 18. Half of it is 9. So I need to do 9 times 4, which is 36. Now, the other shape is another trapezium, but I'm just going to show you a slightly different approach that you could take if you wanted to. You don't have to do it this way. You could do it exactly the same way as I've just done there. But what you could do, because this trapezium has some right angles, you could actually split this, if you prefer, into a rectangle and a triangle. Okay? So if I'm doing this rectangle here, this is just a rectangle that's 4 by 6. So area of this one is 4 times 6, and that is 24. And this triangle, well, it still has a base of 6. This is a little bit more complicated, and my diagram's clearly not drawn to scale. All of this side is 10, same as that. This is 4, so this must be 4. So in order for it to be 10, this vertical height here must also be 6. So the dimensions of my triangle are 6 along the bottom and 6 up. So to do the area of a triangle, I need to do 6 times 6. But remember, it's a triangle, so I will need to divide that by 2. 6 times 6 is 36. Divided by 2 is 18. So, I have all of my areas calculated. I'm in a position to work out the total. So, if I try and work out my total, if my maths doesn't let me down, I've got this rectangle that was 120. This trapezium was 36. This rectangle was 24. And this triangle at the top was 18. If I add that all together, the 6 and the 4 makes 10, and 8 is 18, so I'll carry 1. I now have in my 10s 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. and 100. So it is 198 meters squared. Now I'm sure it's not the second part of the question that's been causing the problem, but I'll just quickly do this. I've made up the situation where paint costs £6 per tin and it covers 20 meters squared. You have to buy a whole number of tins, and I can see I'm going to need, how many 20s go into 198? Well, 10 will do me 200 meters squared. So I'm going to need 10 tins. So it's going to be 6 times 10, which is £60. Now, like I say, if you've struggled with that question and you think that helps you out a little bit, then just give it another go. Remember, you really need to be aiming for 70% to help me understand that you have got a grasp of this maths. Do remember to keep in touch, folks. Signing out. Goodbye.